What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today I want to talk about the black Florida woman who sent a YT man, to the next realm in a parking lot, because it looked like, based off parking lot disputes. I don't understand why people get so irritated and agitated in parking lots and gas stations. Points where strangers meet, right? Seems to be the point of conflict. And it's like, has anybody grown up and learned how, situational awareness? Has anybody grown up and learned how to, control their emotions? Meaning, just because you're having an emotional experience doesn't mean it should manifest into physical action, Like, just because you're mad don't mean you have to do anything because you're mad. Because doing something, right? Doing something, to satisfy your temporary need for revenge or the satisfaction can cause a lifetime of suffering and could end your life, all for a simple mistake because you had a chemical reaction, an emotional burst that you just decided to not be in control. Once you lose control of yourself, all right, you no longer have control or can dictate the direction of your life. You allow outside stimuluses to react to you. Because once you start making moves and acting irrational, that's when the world starts to react to your irrationalness and start being irrational to you, right? And so in this case, you got this black woman and this white man. It always seemed to be a black woman and a white man because, white men, are very intimidated by black women because the level of femininity and power a black woman has is well above the level of femininity and power the white woman has. The white man is used to being able to dominate the white woman like slaves without being questioned, at all. And the fact that the black culture itself, African culture, has always empowered its woman, it flies in the face of European culture. So, the black woman represents the psychological enemy of the white man, just like the black man represents the physical enemy of the white man. So as the white man, them looking at themselves as the dominant default creature for some reason, right? They're the center of the entire universe, right? But but inside of them, they know when they look at that black man, they see something superior. Therefore, it's dangerous because it's superior. They do not want to combat with it. They don't want to fight with it. They will shoot first, black, right? They ain't walking up. They're not walking up to black men. They're shooting black men, right? But, because our masculinity level is higher than their masculinity level. But our black female, feminine power is more powerful than their masculine max level, right? So they look at our females as somebody they can fight with fists, somebody they can even a combative opponent, right? They're not thinking, oh, I don't hit women. That's why they're always trying to call our women men, because they know that our black women are stronger than them as men, right? Just because they have to be feministically super strong because their partner is super massively masculinely strong. It's a compliment. We compliment each other, right? So in this parking lot, once again, like I say in many of my videos, a white man is always some middle-aged, bald, fat, is always the same type of mid-level white man that never accomplished anything truly in their lives and just miserable and blame their miserable midlife on everybody else. So that manifests as them being pissed off when anything doesn't go their way, right? When somebody challenges them, right? So, of course, parking lot where people meet who don't know each other, you got this black woman, parking lot, not anybody really there. The white man feels like he's in the right. And then we don't know what they're arguing about, but I can assume that the white man feels disrespected by the black woman, or the white man feels like something belonged to him. Maybe the parking space belonged to him. He felt like he was right and entitled. And he felt like he was ready to escalate the situation to argue to the point of physical contact with this black woman. He wasn't thinking, damn, I'm a man, I'm arguing with this woman in the parking lot. Let me just go ahead and whatever. I'll just get into the parking lot. Let me just move on, whatever. I'll cuss her out in my head or out loud later on. But whatever, it's a woman. Let me back off because I'm a man, right? That doesn't happen. See, black men, we do that. You know, most of the time, we got black men as pieces of shits and they put their hand on women too, right? But for the most part, culturally, a black man will be like, we're gonna assess the situation. We're like, all right, I'm getting in an argument with this woman in the parking lot. This woman, I'm clearly bigger and stronger than this woman. You know, there's no one else around. Let me stop because I'm escalating as a man and I shouldn't do that because, you know, she's a woman, right? That should be a default setting of automatic taking the fact that this is a woman in consideration. But white people don't do that. White men don't do it because they are violent. These principles and morals do not fit them naturally, right? It's not their thing. It's not, they don't care. Women, children, babies, anything can get it when it comes to them, right? So, you know, I guess, I don't know if this guy, you know, didn't think maybe that this black woman in the parking lot who he is trying to, you know, confront, because he's walking towards her in the parking lot. He's a big man, right? And any man, if you're a big man, if you're not like one of them little, you know, you got some little dudes, right? But little dudes be strong as shit. But if you're a big man, right, you got to understand, people are not going to take the chance to throw hands with you, right? A woman's not going to take the chance to throw hands with you unless she a big, you know, one of them big old huge black women that could throw that. Like some of them, like that's the thing. When you see them fight, when you see a white man fight a black woman, it be 50-50 because 50% of the times the black woman win. It be like that, right? But in this case, the black woman had a gun. I don't know if the gun was legal. It must have been legal because she didn't get arrested, right? She pulled her weapon out. She had presented her weapon and her phone. She had her phone, her ability to communicate and record, and she had her weapon out. In Florida, keep in mind, you can stand your ground in Florida. I think we already seen court cases to where it's established that you can stand your ground in Florida, right? So she's standing her ground, but she's also backing up, telling that dude to get away. She's being very loud and vocal, right? She's warning him, right? He's walking toward, what idiot would walk towards somebody with a gun? You have to be absolutely oblivious to reality to walk towards and continue to escalate with someone who's clearly afraid to the point where she has a gun because she believes she needs to protect herself. And then she fires one round. She didn't get erratic. She didn't go, she didn't unload the magazine and then reload again and unload it again. She didn't do that. One round, right? She only has to justify one bullet. And through the videos, it seems justified. The simple fact that this big white man walking towards her is enough justification for her to have to do what she had to do to protect herself as being a vulnerable woman in a situation where no one else seemed to be coming out to help her out in that situation. No one else was saying, hey, you know, get away from that woman. Hey, that's a woman. Nobody was doing that. Everybody was sitting back, recording, doing everything but participating in communalism and stopping some white man from putting his hands on a black woman, right? And had that white man put his hands on that black woman, right, y'all would have watched her get her ass beat, and we would saw that on the internet instead of what we see now is him going to the next level, effing around and finding out for the last time. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this in the comments section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Walk away, the woman says in this very short cell phone video that ends with what sounds like a single gunshot. But we are now seeing what happened in the minutes prior in this Walmart parking lot at 7900 West McNabb Road. Take a look at this dash cam video. That's the woman with the gun on the left, getting out of her car, holding a phone in her left hand and a gun in her right. A witness tells 7 News that moments before this, she'd gotten into an argument over that space with the man we see in that cell phone video. In fact, the witness says the man parked his white SUV like this, blocking the space, but minutes later he moved. She then pulls into the space, and according to the witness, she spoke briefly to the people in that white Honda, who the witness says told her the man was still in the parking lot. Then you see him, 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo, walking up to her. She points the gun, and for at least 30 seconds they exchange words. At one point, he follows her as she walks around another car, still pointing the gun. He appears to walk away, but immediately comes back, and she fires. All this time, it appears she's still on the phone. He remains conscious on the ground as one car stops, but then keeps going. Then a second car behind them. For more than 2 minutes, pedestrians and cars go by. The man was alternately sitting up and lying down, but he would later die at the hospital. Deputies arrived roughly 3 minutes after the shooting, and that woman, we're told, is claiming self-defense.
Okay, so a Florida woman who fatally shot a man in a parking lot is claiming self-defense. It started over a parking space and ended with 62-year-old Bart following the young lady around until she shot him. And at this time, the police have made no arrest.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.